Yes, it's time for another album ranking. Today we're ranking King Diamond. That's right. So, King Diamond is a band that I really couldn't get into on my first initial listens, and this was years ago when I discovered King Diamond, and it took me over a year to really enjoy most of his music, although there are some weaker albums in his discography. And but I'll tell you what, the concept albums of these albums are absolutely amazing. He's got an incredible imagination, and so he's got 13 studio albums, and we're going to rank all 13 albums. Some are absolutely fucking fantastic, and some are not so great and not as memorable as other albums. But before I start, pop your favorite King Diamond albums down below, and let's start. So, coming last is The Graveyard. It tells a grisly story of murder, revenge, and psychological torment. Its concept centers on a man who escapes from a mental institution to confront a corrupt mayor, resulting in a gruesome series of events. While the narrative is compelling in theory, the execution feels uninspired, and the album struggles to match the intensity of King Diamond's earlier works. Musically, the album isn't fucking memorable. The album leans heavily on like mid-paced fucking riffs with tracks like Digging Graves and Sleep Tight Little Baby standing out as highlights, although the guitar work is sharp. The songwriting lacks the complexity that I expect from King Diamond. The production, while gritty, feels a bit rushed in my opinion, leaves the album sounding quite uneven and unbalanced. Despite its flaws though, The Graveyard has moments that showcase King Diamond's ability to craft very dark and atmospheric metal. However, it's repetitive. I mean, it's fucking repetitive. The structure and lack of standout tracks make it in my opinion, the weakest album for King Diamond. Give Me Your Soul Please serves as King Diamond's most recent studio album, and it demonstrates his ability to craft chilling stories decades into his career. Inspired by a painting, the concept follows two ghostly children, one trying to save the other's soul from eternal damnation. While the premise is intriguing, it doesn't fully reach the emotional depth or intensity of his earlier albums. Musically, the album features polished production that gives it a, fucking sleek and modern sound. Tracks like Never Ending Hill and The Floating Head deliver strong riffs and eerie atmospheres, while Andy LaRocque's guitar work remains a highlight. The guitar work on this is absolutely fucking fantastic. However, the songwriting often feels formulaic, and the pacing is uneven, and some tracks just drag the album's momentum. It really does. It feels slow and tedious at times. Though it's a respectable addition to King Diamond's catalogue, Give Me Your Soul Please lacks the innovation and raw energy of his peak era. It's enjoyable, but doesn't stand out as one of his best, and that's why it's second last. As a sequel to Abigail, you got Abigail 2, The Revenge, had high expectations, and while it expands the original story, it falls short of recapturing the magic of its predecessor. The album follows Abigail's resurrection and a quest for vengeance, offering you a deeper look into her character. Musically, the album is pretty strong with tracks like The Storm and Miriam. It showcases great guitar work, intricate guitar work, and King's theatrical vocal delivery. His falsettos are very good on this. The production is clean and modern, but it does lack that, intensity from the original Abigail that made the original Abigail so fucking impactful. Abigail 2 is a solid album with standout moments, but it struggles to escape the shadow of its iconic predecessor. While it's a worthwhile listen for fans of King Diamond's storytelling, it doesn't reach that same groundbreaking heights of the original. Some songs on this are very forgettable. Next up is The Spider's Lullaby. Offers a mix of standalone horror tales and a chilling concept in its second half. This album's latter portion follows a man called Harry with severe arachnophobia scared, horrified of spiders, and his gruesome encounter with a sadistic fucking doctor. Musically, the album balances heavy, mid-tempo riffs with eerie atmospheres. Tracks like From the Other Side and Eastman's Cure. It showcases King Diamond's knack for crafting memorable, horror-inspired metal. The guitar solos are fucking fantastic on this, and they are filled with emotion on this album, adding depth to the album's haunting tone. While the conceptual elements of the second half are quite engaging, the album's split focus makes it feel slightly uneven. The production is clean but lacks the lush cinematic quality of albums like Them or Abigail. Despite its flaws, it's still a pretty good album, and it remains a solid and underrated entry in King Diamond's discography. But yeah, I'm not complaining, it was a pretty good album. These are all the albums that I really enjoy now. Voodoo is next. It's set in the 1930s in Louisiana, the story of a family cursed by dark rituals and supernatural forces. The unique concept stands out in King Diamond's discography, blending cultural elements of voodoo mysticism with his signature horror themes. Musically, Voodoo features groove-heavy riffs and atmospheric melodies. Tracks like LOA House and One Down, Two to Go are highlights, showcasing the band's ability to create such an immersive and eerie listening experience. Andy LaRocque's guitar solos are again fucking fantastic, adding layers upon layers of emotion and tension to the narrative. The production effectively captures that swampy, ominous vibe of the setting, but the album's pacing can feel quite inconsistent, with some tracks dragging. While Voodoo isn't as iconic as like Abigail, Them, or even The Eye, its ambitious storytelling experimental approach make it quite a memorable entry in King Diamond's discography. And yeah, it's pretty fucking good. So one album I actually really enjoyed, I believe this is like one of his weakest, but it's a hot take here. House of God offers a gothic and deeply emotional tale that stands apart from much of King Diamond's discography. The story follows a man who stumbles upon a mysterious church, falls in love with an ethereal woman, and discovers a horrifying secret about her divine nature. The themes of love, betrayal, and spiritual devastation make this one of King Diamond's most human and introspective albums. Musically, House of God blends fucking melodic and heavy passages seamlessly. Tracks like Black Devil and Follow the Wolf, it showcases King Diamond's ability to create haunting atmospheres while maintaining intensity. The guitar work by Andy is as impressive as ever, delivering fucking intricate solos and riffs that elevate the album's emotional depth. The production is clean and polished, lending clarity to the album's complex arrangements. King Diamond's vocal performance is particularly strong here, as he conveys such sorrow and even rage and desperation with his signature high falsettos and theatrical delivery. While may lack the immediate impact of classics like Abigail and Them, House of God, in my opinion, is a pretty underrated gem that rewards careful listening. It's a gothic undertone and emotional narrative make it have such a really good album, and I fucking enjoyed this one. I love how they explore more of the romantic side with King Diamond's perspective. Next up is The Puppet Master. It's one of King Diamond's darkest and most visceral albums, delivering gruesome stories set in Budapest. The narrative follows a couple who fall victim to a sadistic puppet master who transforms humans into living mannequins. Is it mannequins? I think it is. The love story at the album's core adds emotional weight, making it a particularly impactful entry in King Diamond's discography. Musically, the album balances crushing riffs with eerie fucking melodies, creating a soundscape that perfectly complements this horrifying tale. Tracks like Blood to Walk and So Sad stand out for the intensity and emotion on that. Whoa. The guitar work shines again, and solos that feel both technically and brilliant and narratively driven. The production is modern and polished, which highlights every fucking chilling detail of the compositions. King's vocals performance is theatrical and dynamic, capturing the terror and sorrow of the story. While the Puppet Master doesn't have the legendary status of some other albums, it's a masterful album that demonstrates King Diamond's continued ability to craft such compelling fucking concept albums, and quite disturbing ones as well. King Diamond's debut solo album, Fatal Portrait, sets the stage for his signature blend of horror storytelling and theatrical metal. While not fully conceptual, it introduces a short narrative about a haunted portrait across its first 5 tracks, and with the rest of the album consisting of standalone songs, musically the album bridges the gap between sounding more like Merciful Fate and King Diamond's evolving solo style. Tracks like The Candle and Haunted are highlights, featuring sharp riffs, haunting fucking melodies, and King's dramatic vocal delivery. The guitar work by Andy LaRocque is exceptional, again delivering solos that are both technically impressive and emotionally evocative. The production is raw, giving the album a gritty edge that complements its dark themes. While later albums would refine and expand upon this formula, Fatal Portrait remains such an essential listen for anyone that wants to dive into King Diamond. It's a strong debut that laid the groundwork for King Diamond's career as one of the most greatest metal storytellers. One of the greatest. His concept albums are incredible. Next up is Conspiracy, serves as a direct sequel to them, continuing the protagonist's descent into madness and paranoia. The story is more personal and emotionally intense as King tries to confront the supernatural forces that have tormented him. Themes of betrayal, grief, and revenge add depth to this fucking chilling narrative. Musically, Conspiracy is one of King Diamond's most dynamic and ambitious albums. Tracks like Sleepless Nights and At the Graves showcases King Diamond's ability to balance technicality with melody, creating songs that are both intricate and emotionally resonant. The guitar work is particularly noteworthy, with solos that feel so deeply connected to the album's narrative. The production is pristine, allowing every instrument and vocal line to shine. King's performance is theatrical and compelling as always, capturing the protagonist's desperation and anger. While Conspiracy is slightly overshadowed by Abigail and Them, it's a masterful album that stands as one of King Diamond's finest achievements. Such a good fucking album. But there can only be 3 remaining. Them is one of King Diamond's most iconic albums, firmly cementing his reputation as a master storyteller and a pioneer in conceptual heavy metal. The album tells the story of a young king and his descent into madness after his grandmother returns home from an asylum, and this continues on to Conspiracy. But the grandmother is not alone. Them, a group of spectral entities spirits, manipulate both her and King, driving the family into a whirlwind of fucking paranoia, betrayal, and even murder. The narrative unfolds with chilling precision, from the eerie welcome in Welcome Home to the ghostly manipulation in Tea. Every song advances the story while standing strong as a standalone track. The pacing of the story mirrors the music's intensity, with each track ratcheting up the tension, really dialing up the tension here. The tragic and violent climax hinted at in songs like Bye Bye Missy leaves an emotional mark, setting up the sequel album Conspiracy. Musically, Them is a showcase of technical prowess and atmospheric depth. Tracks like Welcome Home and The Invisible Guest feature frantic, razor-sharp riffs that seamlessly transition into haunting, melodic passages. Andy LaRocque's guitar solos could you say, are pretty breathtaking, combining technical precision with emotional storytelling. His work on this album is widely regarded as some of the finest in metal fucking history. King Diamond's vocal performance is unparalleled. His falsettos bring a outer world edge to the characters, while his deeper tones add weight to the protagonist's descent into madness. The layered vocal harmonies are so particularly effective in creating a sense of dread and unease, immersing the listener into supernatural horror. The production strikes a perfect fucking balance, capturing both the raw energy of the band and the gothic atmosphere of the story. The use of dynamic shifts from frenetic thrash sections to slower haunting interludes keeps you engaged and on the fucking edge. Them is one of my favorite King Diamond albums, no doubt. And it's one of the best King Diamond's, objectively one of the best King Diamond's albums. It's intricate storytelling combined with flawless musicianship makes it a must-listen for fans that absolutely love conceptual albums. While it might not reach the emotional and narrative complexity of my favorite album, which I won't reveal just yet, its iconic status and unforgettable songs make it one of the King Diamond's greatest achievements. And now we're going down the home stretch here. My favorite, well, not my favorite, my second favorite is The Eye. And The Eye is one of the King Diamond's most unique and mature albums, blending supernatural horror with historical themes in a way that sets it apart from his more character-driven works. This was my first King Diamond album I checked out. And this was the first album that literally, made me enjoy King Diamond. It clicked for me. But yeah. This is during the French Inquisition. Each track explores a vignette tied to the artifact, weaving together a story that is as chilling as it is thought-provoking. What makes The Eye so distinctive is its focus on real historical elements such as the persecution of witches and the abuses of power by religious authorities. The songs explore these events with supernatural twists, creating a layered and immersive narrative. For example, The Trial. The Trial recounts the brutal torture of an accused witch, while Burn captures the terror of being executed for crimes you didn't even fucking commit. The inclusion of these historical themes gives the album an emotional weight not often seen in traditional heavy metal. But let's talk musically about The Eye. What does The Eye sound like? It's a more atmospheric and melodic album than its predecessor. The keyboards play a larger role, creating haunting soundscapes that complement the slower tempos and gothic tone of the music. Tracks like Eye of the Witch and Behind These Walls showcase Andy LaRocque's ability to craft such intricate, emotionally charged solos to elevate this fucking album. The balance between melody and heaviness is such masterfully executed, giving the album a polished and such a cinematic quality. King Diamond's vocal performance is restrained yet theatrical, perfectly suiting the album's somber themes. His falsettos are used sparingly but effectively, heightening the drama of key moments. The production is clean and precise, ensuring every instrument is heard clearly while maintaining that dark atmosphere that the story demands. While The Eye doesn't have that raw, reserved energy of albums like Abigail or Them, it stands out for its innovation and depth, in my opinion. And this is one of the reasons why this album clicked for me. The historical context adds a level of sophistication to the horror, making it a thought-provoking and deeply unsettling experience. It's an album that rewards repeated listens. And this was my first album, like I said, and holy shit, I fell in love with it. And the intricate storytelling and subtle musical details reveal themselves over time as you repeat this album over and over again. In many ways, The Eye is an underrated masterpiece. Its focus on atmosphere, narrative complexity, and historical themes showcase King Diamond's versatility as both a storyteller and a musician. For those who appreciate a more melodic and introspective approach, The Eye offers a haunting and unforgettable journey into the darkness of history and human cruelty. And now, my favorite King Diamond album is none other than Abigail. Isn't just an album, it's a fucking experience. Widely regarded as King Diamond's magnum opus and one of the greatest concept albums in metal history, it weaves a gothic horror story filled with possession, betrayal, and tragedy. The album follows the tale of Jonathan and Miriam LeFay, who moved into a cursed mansion only to uncover its dark history and become embroiled in the chilling series of events involving the malevolent spirit of Abigail, a stillborn child who seeks fucking revenge. The story's pacing is masterful, gradually building tension as Jonathan and Miriam uncover the mystery of Abigail. The narrative explores themes of fate, guilt, and evil, culminating in a devastating finale where Abigail's curse is fully unleashed. And I'll tell you what, every track on Abigail contributes to the narrative, from the haunting opening of Funeral, which sets the tone with a foreboding spoken word section, to the epic closer, Black Horseman, where the tragic conclusion plays out with such cinematic majesticness, if that's even a fucking word. Musically, Abigail is flawless. Tracks like A Mansion in Darkness and The Family Ghost, featuring razor-sharp riffs, chilling melodies, and seamless transitions between heavy and melodic passages. The guitar work on this is just phenomenal. It really is. Solos, the synths, the keyboards that build up this album, that are not just technically stunning but also emotionally evocative. Each solo feels like a voice in the story, adding to the drama and intensity of the album. King Diamond's vocal performance is unparalleled, blending sinister growls, I'm not kidding, operatic falsettos, and theatrical narration to embody the characters and their struggles. His ability to convey both terror and sorrow elevates the story to more heights than you can ever imagine. The production is just fantastic. I just love that old retro production heavy metal sound. It captures the dark and gothic atmosphere of the mansion setting with crisp clarity that ensures every instrument and vocal line is perfectly balanced. The use of layered vocals, ominous keyboards, and dynamic shifts in tempo and volume makes the album feel alive. It really makes it feel alive, pulling you into its haunted world. What makes Abigail truly exceptional is its cohesion. It's not just a collection of songs, but a complete story told through music. Every track serves a purpose in advancing the narrative, and the album flows seamlessly from one chapter to the next. The intensity never lets up. It never fucking lets up. Yet the moments of melodic beauty, such as the haunting intro of the 7th day of July, 1777, provide a poignant contrast to the relentless heaviness. The album's legacy is undeniable. It sets a standard for concept albums in fucking metal, combining with complex storytelling with just fantastic musicianship. Abigail transcends each genre, offering a listening experience that is in equal parts terrifying and exhilarating. Its influence can be felt not only in King Diamond's subsequent works, but also in the broader world of heavy metal, where it remains a fucking benchmark for storytelling and musical artistry. For those that like King Diamond and metal as a whole, Abigail is an essential album. It really is. It's a perfect marriage of horror and music. A timeless masterpiece. I'm going to say it's a fucking masterpiece that continues to captivate and haunt you decades after its release. If there's one album that defines King Diamond's genius, it's fucking Abigail. So yeah, that's it for the King Diamond album ranking. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below your favorite albums. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? Remember, this is completely subjective. I can't really lie to you on what albums I like or don't like, so this is just my honest opinion and my current album ranking for King Diamond. Let me know in the comments below. It's been fun, and I'll see you in the next one.